Hello everyone. I'm making this video on Uranus stationing retrograde this week. I made a video earlier today, but the audio quality was really bad, so I'm just gonna do this again, but in a new way. This time we're gonna get a song. I'm gonna start with this song, and this really is one of those songs that just, to me, brings me right to the truth of what I am, not so much the story of what I am, like an essential state of being. And really, this is a big part of what Uranus is all about. We are liberating from the matrix, from the projections and the stories that we crystallize in our thoughts, and arriving at our essential nature where everything belongs, everything resonates with all of creation perfectly as it is created. So here's the song. I am confident in the authority of my voice, I am certain in the power of the choosing of my choice. I am certain and intent. I am grounded and content. I sing my song and sing it long. This medicine I am strong, dancing to the music and the rhythm all along. Sing my song and sing it long. This medicine I am is strong, dancing to the music in the rhythm all along. In my silence is my guidance, whispers gently in my heart. In my heart is compliance to the universal art. I stay in the dance of beauty and romance. For life is now, and now is all that I have, and I have nothing, and there's nothing left to do but sing this song to you. Life is now, and now is all that I have, and I have nothing, and there's nothing left to do but share my love with you. Doom doom da ba dee da doom doom da ba dee da doom doom da da doom 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 da ba dee da doom doom da ba dee da doom doom da da doom doom. I am eternal, I am whole in this moment. I am all stable in this knowing, so there's no need for control. This power is innate, cannot give it, cannot take. For in the breath and out the breath, this moment is another death and birth into the ever-flowing symphony of one. In the breath and out the breath, this moment is another death and birth into the ever-flowing symphony of now. Doom doom da ba dee da doom doom da ba dee da doom doom da da doom 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 da ba dee da doom doom da ba dee da doom doom da da doom doom. Uranus stations retrograde quick announcement. We have the retrograde class series, which I taught last year. You can learn more in the description below. You can purchase the entire class series or an individual class such as Uranus retrograde. And this class series went really deep into understanding the evolutionary meaning of every single retrograde planet. So, when a planet stations retrograde, it's really as if that planet is conjunct itself. It's stopping, it's slowing down. And what this represents within consciousness is a moment where we are really turning within relative to that particular planetary function. Uranus is about liberation. It's about our essential nature. So when Uranus moves retrograde on one level, we are called to go within, beyond our thoughts, beyond our projections, beyond the matrix of reality that we create with our thoughts, and to arrive at the nature of things as they are. And the nature of things as they are is always so very different than the stories that we've put on it. Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury, so in a sense, we can in fact create logical formulations that make seemingly real the thoughts that we have about life. We can have thoughts, and these thoughts don't necessarily land anywhere. They can seem true and logical, and life can seem to conform to its validity, but they don't have any reality to them. Thoughts like, everyone's out to get me, or I can never make enough money. All the different kinds of thought patterns that we just create in our mind that become the basis for the matrix that we're living in. What happens with strong Uranus transits is we are ultimately invited to step away from them by becoming an observer of them, realizing they don't define us. So often with Uranus, we have a lot of suppressed content. And this suppressed content, in virtue of being suppressed, we're not necessarily aware of it or the extent to which it is suppressed, meaning this can be embedded deep within our individuated unconscious, pertaining to memories within the soul far before this very lifetime. And so we look out at life and we have a very limited story and view and understanding of what's going on. So on one level as well, Uranus moving retrograde can feel stressful. This sense of not knowing where everything lands or how to put it all together. There's a great opportunity with this transit, and I'll speak specifically to what's going on with this Uranus retrograde. There's a great opportunity to become a lot more internal, to see that everything arising in our life, including all the dream symbols, all the messages, all the repeated signals, the content that's stressful, everything in our life, it's not pointing to the absolute reality of what is supposed to be. It's more pointing to the very place within us that is being freed up. This is a powerful time for Uranus. It's just in a new phase with the North Node. So there's a great evolutionary focus on this function of liberation. When we are in a time of liberation, it is sort of implied that we're going to likely face the very places where we feel stuck or suppressed or unliberated. That sort of logically follows. If there's a process of liberation happening, it means we're going to be meeting the very places where we do not know ourselves to be free. Arriving at our essential nature, the nature of reality as it is connecting with the intelligence and the harmony and the resonance of life as it all belongs and resonates together with all of itself. And there's a movement right now in our lives towards a state of togetherness and unity that is not of our making. It doesn't fit into the boxes that we want to put. Like, you go there, you do this, I do this. This is how it fits. We can have the symbology of Uranus being a special members club. The archetype or the analogy of a special members club is, here are the rules or the conditions or the ideas of this club. Everyone conforms and fits into these boxes and these constructs. And that's where we have our community. All of life, everything is a specials members club. We're all subscribers. We are all members. We all have lifetime access. You get to keep all of the content, and you don't even need to create an avatar because we are that already. It's so essential. Our belonging in it is prior to our understanding or story of it. So connecting with this profound intelligence that's working together with all of life really means holding some sense of relaxation. And this has been a big part of my own inquiry recently, just the wisdom and the power of relaxation. Relaxation equaling a state of trust, but also relaxation equaling a state of allowing and grace. To be relaxed and non-defended means we're not getting involved in the seeming reality of the stories and the things that are so seemingly real in our life. To be relaxed means to hold more of a witness. There's profound meaning to the teaching that I've often heard from Adyashanti, his invitation to do nothing, don't do anything, allow everything to be as it is. And in that state of presence, we are met with the very impulses to not allow everything to be as it is. Or it can't just be this way, or I can't just feel this way. But what if the feelings themselves, as it says in A Course in Miracles, we are not upset for the reasons we think? What if there's something so much more essential that we just forgot about ourselves? Now, this Uranus, besides for just being on the North Node, is moving backwards soon it's going to come into a very, 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 very tight square with Saturn, but not tight enough, meaning it's not going to exact that square. It's just about to perfect that square as both planets are moving retrograde later in this year, just as Saturn will be getting ready to move direct. So we're moving towards a culmination, a profound assimilation and synthesis of a process that's been underway for a while. Saturn and Uranus have been dancing in and out of a last quarter phase square for a couple years. It's like they're just about to enter that, and it's like a final meeting during a retrograde cycle. So you can just get the symbology of that. Lots of reworking. And of course, Saturn is wanting us to have a very conscious grasp and understanding of our reality. What are we conditioning? What are the forms? What are we working on? What are we disciplining? So there is simultaneously this really real calling within us to be grounding a new life, a new form. We can appreciate that there is a lot more to learn. There's a lot more to see here. And we don't have to seek to find it with our conditioned thinking, our conditioned mind. Jeff Green taught that the last quarter phase square, which they're about to perfect, and they'll be in it for a while, and we often find that the energy of a square really plays itself out after the exact aspect, meaning after they begin to really separate later in this year. That the last quarter square itself has a very Aquarian energy to it. It's about liberating. It's about throwing off the conditioning and the constructs of the cycle that's led us to where we are now. And there's a great degree of stress in the last quarter square, pushing us to feel more connected with our essential individuality. That stress is something doesn't feel totally aligned. Something has to give. We need to create more space for a more authentic, freed up expression. And we have to appreciate that there's just so much more that we don't know because we've been suppressing it. And a big thing with Uranus is we're afraid of the future. We are afraid of letting things be. We're afraid of allowing. We're afraid of the feeling. We're afraid of the relaxed state of observation because we're concerned that if we just allow things, if we don't interfere with more of our conditioning, then we'll lose something. We'll lose the security and the simplicity and the ease and the status quo of our life. But we have to ask ourselves really that honest question. Are we having fun? Are we enjoying ourselves? Do we feel connected to the confidence and to the lightness of our own being? I'm confident in the authority of my voice, Taurus. I'm certain in the power of the choosing of my choice. What a way to live when we aren't creating more noise or busyness or story, anything extra with our choices, with our movements, where we feel in resonance and alignment and harmony with ourselves. There was a time in 2005 where I was working at a food kitchen in St. Bernard Parish outside of New Orleans. This is after Hurricane Katrina. We were working in a casino that was destroyed, so the whole lot was open. We had lots of food that was donated, lots of tents and domes, and we were serving food to the people that lived locally in that area. At some point, I had the idea to start composting all of the food scraps that we were generating as we were preparing meals. There's a lot of food waste. So all I needed to do was create a composting system. With a friend of mine, we decided to walk through the neighborhood. This is a few months after the hurricanes, so the neighborhood was pretty much entirely abandoned. We found these very large garbage bins. We wheeled them back. Now, a lot of these garbage bins had water sitting in them, so it's like very rancid. Water has been sitting in them since the hurricane for several months. So it's a very unsanitary, unsafe situation. We bring the bins back to the camp, and I say to my friends something to the likes of, we could really use a power washer to sanitize, to clean these bins. And just in that moment, I didn't say this like loud, I wasn't announcing it. Someone came and just announced, "Hey everyone, I have a power washer. Does anyone need to use a power washer?" It's one of those things where it's like the level of synchronicity was just pretty profound. Who asks for power washers? So we power washed it, we put some holes, and we created a compost system. Then we found a farm nearby that was doing some bioregeneration work on the soil, and they were very happy to take our compost. So there's this whole ecosystem This energetic that was created with a need was being, this is a very Taurus thing, right? There is a need to work with the resources. We collaborated, we began to build something, other people came together. We didn't have to plan it. We didn't have to figure out how all the steps were going to be made. There was a state of alignment and resonance. It just sort of worked. The universe was working with itself. We've all known what it's like to be in those states. I've noticed in my own life that those times of flow and synchronicity have happened the most when I'm in community. It's happened the most when I'm in some capacity in a vibrational state of being with other people where we're all oriented at the same time to a place of giving and sharing and including. It's just that vibration alone is enough to generate the perfect resonance of all things that are meant to come together. It's self-emergent. We don't have to plan for it. And it's interesting to think how easy it is to live our isolated lives where it feels very separate. Right? You in your shell, me in my shell. And it doesn't necessarily feel like the universe is conspiring and working together so beautifully. The teaching is it really is reflected in our state of being, our state of presence. It's natural to be in a state of connection, to be in a state of trust, of sharing, and of inclusion. And this state of being is a non-paranoid state. It's a non-fearful state. And when we resonate with that, we find that life really has its own intelligence. It's working itself out. It's holding all of the pieces. So this is Uranus stationing retrograde during this time. It's a great opportunity to just settle more deeply into a state of trust, into a state of relaxation, and to really look at where we have the opportunity at this time to be working on our state of mind, meeting the states of mind that don't feel particularly helpful, not endeavoring to change it, but becoming more and more of a neutral, open-minded witness to it. Okay, thank you for watching.